Alright, the absolute value function. I said in the previous video we were going to look at this a little more closely, and now we are. You can define this function as f of x is equal to the absolute value of x. So any x you put in, f of x will be positive. If you put in 1, you're going to get positive 1. You put in 2, you're going to get positive 2. If you put in negative 1, you're going to get 1. If you put in negative 2, you're going to get 2. That's what the absolute value signs do. They give you, no matter what you put in, they give you the distance of that number from 0, which is always a positive number. So it looks like this, kind of. And I think actually this function is used with reflection against a surface with light and lasers and all that stuff. So that's pretty interesting. How do we define this, however, as a piecewise defined function? Well, we could say that f of x is equal to, and then like this, and we could say that we could think of this as y. So y is equal to, this line right here. When you only consider positive values of x, you can consider this y is equal to x, right? So we could think of it as f of x is equal to, or y is equal to x, if x is greater than or equal to 0. And then below 0, we have x is equal to negative x if x is less than 0, right? Because we have a negative slope here, so we need negative x, and we have a positive slope here, so we need positive x. And it's both at 0 because it's at 0 where they change. So that wasn't too hard. And you can use this in a bunch of ways. Oh, and let's quickly look at the domain and range while we're at it, because this would be a really short video without domain and range questions. The domain, what do you think? It's all real numbers, right? Because it goes infinitely to the right and infinitely to the left. So the domain is all real numbers. That's the symbol, or interval notation wise, like that. And the range, it ends at 0 and goes infinitely up, and it touches 0, so we have to include 0 to infinity. So domain, range, and the piecewise defined formula for the absolute value function, along with the shorter notation for the absolute value function. So this video has literally been all about the absolute value function. Next we'll do some more problems and then properties of functions. So see you then.